What's up, guys? It's Jacob with the Degenerate Gambling Life, and we have a great episode for you again today. Starting off, we're going to be talking about some sleepers and underrated players in fantasy football this season. First off, we're going to have Alvin Kamara. Currently in redraft leagues, he's going at an ADP of 48.5, which makes him the running back 18 off the board. And quite frankly, I just don't see it. I think if he has a full year of production, he's still going to have another great season. He's only 28 years old. And especially in PPR formats, the way he's used in that passing game, he's going to have 80 to 100 catches. So I think he's going to finish easily inside the top 15 running backs this year. And I think there's a lot of great value there. Moving on to Dalton Kincaid at an ADP of 61.0. He's the tight end six off the board currently. But last season, Stephon Diggs took up 160 targets, and those targets have to go somewhere. And I think Kincaid is going to be the 1A guy in this offense. And if that's the case, he's going to get 130, 140 targets. And if that is what ends up happening, he's going to be the tight end one overall. And if we're talking about tight end one overall at the 61 ADP, going off as the tight end six, that is incredible value. Pat Fryermuth, it has an ADP of 132.3. He's currently being drafted behind guys that are retired. He is the tight end 17 off the board right now. I know he had a down year last year. He's been dealing with injuries, but that Steelers offense is reloaded. Russell Wilson can get the ball to the tight ends. They have an improved passing game, and I think they're going to be looking to get Fryermuth involved quite a bit this year. I think he's going to finish in the top 10 at the tight end position. Then moving on, we have Jaden Reed, currently at an ADP of 94.5, the wide receiver 35 off the board. And this just seems kind of ridiculous to me. He kind of emerged as that alpha guy in Green Bay last season. I know people think Christian Watson will eventually take that role over, and they do have a lot of mouths to feed in Green Bay. But I think if you were watching the games last year, Jaden Reed really felt like the wide receiver one in Green Bay, and I think he should be a top 20, 25 wide receiver this season. Then we have Jerry Judy at an ADP of 132.1. He's basically free. The wide receiver 60 off the board currently. He's going to be the number two wide receiver in Cleveland. Last year, Elijah Moore in that role had 104 targets. Judy has only had over 100 targets twice in his career, and those were his best two seasons. So I would look to scoop up Jerry Judy if you can.
How's it going, everyone? For this week's fantasy football debate, we're going to be talking about what Jeff Mann said. He said Jamar Chase should be going number one overall in fantasy football. Now, I don't agree with this, but I will say what I think are the pros to what he is saying. First, Jamar Chase has the highest ceiling of the top kind of wide receivers. What I mean by that is he has a quarterback he's established with, and he could put up the best numbers. Next, he is playing for a new contract, so that could help. And finally, coming into the pros, he did have the highest pedigree, even while he was playing with Justin Jefferson. Take it away, Jacob.
Josh, I hear what you're saying, but honestly, I really don't. I can't really fathom a world where I would take Jamar Chase number one overall in fantasy this year. I think there's better options at wide receiver in the form of CeeDee Lamb or even Justin Jefferson. And for me, I would still take guys at running back like Brees Hall or Bijan Robinson over Jamar Chase. So I really don't get the hype for Jamar Chase being the number one overall player in fantasy football. And I would absolutely take eight or nine guys over him.
Excuse me, sir. Would you like another hot take?
Yeah, definitely. Keep them coming.
Okay, I have a hot take for you, but it's kind of a two-in-one. So what is the MLB and the NFL, in my opinion, are cheating fans. And what I mean by that is we're being cheated of a better product if we use chips in the footballs for first downs, ball placements where it's clear exactly where it is. The next, in baseball, by not doing balls and strikes, so that way we don't have to worry about the Angel Hernandez of the world. All right, Jordan, take it away with your hot take.
Thanks, Josh. And with the temperatures being so hot in the United States all across the board, and with the United States men's national team being so hot right now, my hot take is you're going to see the United States men's national team in the Copa America finals. They are clicking. They are firing on all cylinders. Timothy Weah playing phenomenal. Weston McKinney. You got Christian Pulisic, who had an absolute banger of a game with a goal and an assist, and he had a great season in Serie A. Who else is missing? Gio Reyna, phenomenal. If they can get Balogun firing on all cylinders up front, man, this team is going to be fun to watch go deep into this tournament. The team Chemistry has never been higher. The only person who's going to bring this down is Greg Berhalter, and that very well could happen. But I see them making a run. I see them in the finals of the Copa America, and I hope that this propels them for the World Cup in 2 years. What you got, Jacob?
Thank you, Jordan. And my hot take for the week is that the Baltimore Orioles will win the AL East. They're currently plus 150 odds. And I think that's a very sharp bet right now because they have a loaded team. This team is good from top to bottom, and Cedric Mullins is getting hot in the outfield currently. They have a great pitching rotation as well. And the Yankees are dealing with a lot of injuries in their bullpen and in their rotation, and it's just taxing their arms quite a bit. At this point, I still think the Yankees have a phenomenal lineup and they're going to do a lot of damage in the playoffs. But I do like Baltimore to catch them and take the division this season.
My hot take of the week is that the Kansas City Chiefs are not going to finish as the 1 or the 2 seed, and neither are the 49ers. I think that the edge they've had over the league has diminished, and I do think they're the best team and the favorite to win the Super Bowl, but I think they're going to struggle and have a lot of growing pains this year with their new offense. Same with San Francisco, so look out for some underdogs to come through this year.
Poker hand I played at Bally's Shreveport. In this hand, three players limped to me, and I woke up on the button with Ace King offsuit and raised to $25, and all the limpers made the call. The flop came King Jack Queen with two spades. Action check to me, and I bet $60, and only the last limper made the call. The turn is great for us. It comes another king, giving us trips. She checks, and I bet 125, and she makes the call again here. And then the river brings in the flush in the form of the three of spades. Now she leads for $125, and I'm put in a pretty tough spot, but I've seen her make some crazy plays and some crazy bluffs. And so, knowing that she has that in her range, I think I have to call down here with the price I'm getting. So I make the call, and she turns over Queen 5 offsuit, and we are good and scoop this nice pot.
This is a poker hand I played at 1-2 stakes at TCH Austin. In this hand, an early position player raised to $15. I just flatted on the button with ace queen offsuit. Normally I would be 3-betting here, but this time I chose to flat to keep some strong hands in my flatting range as well, and both the blinds came along. The flop came queen 10-3 with two clubs. It checked to me and I bet $25, and only the original raiser called. The turn came the 5 of clubs, and now he leads for $45, which is really suspicious to me because I think he would bet his flush draws most of the time. So I see no reason to do anything but call, and that's what I do. The river comes the 3 of diamonds, and now he bets 65. This card doesn't really change anything. If we were ahead on the turn, we still should be ahead now. So I make the call, and we catch him bluffing this time with king jack offsuit with the king of clubs.
Okay, the two poker hands today are going to be coming from our meetup game at the Horseshoe, so let's just go ahead and jump in. I look down at ace 3 of spades under the gun, and I raise to 17 because they've been a pretty loose and splashy table, and I get 4 callers. The flop comes the 10 of spades, the 7 of spades, the 4 of spades. We are loving it. The big blind checks to me, and I bet $23. So that way it looks like maybe at best I'm drawing to a spade. I get 2 callers. The turn is a 6 of hearts, and now I check for some deception, and it checks around. The river is the 5 of clubs, so we still have the nuts. Now I bet $68, and middle position goes all in for 128. It folds to me, and I obviously call it the nuts, and they show that they had ace 10 offsuit, so they got really sticky with top, and we scoop with our nut flush. Okay, next poker hand, we are still playing at our meetup game at the Horseshoe. 6 people limp to me, and I look down at 6-9 offsuit in the big blind, so we check, going 7 ways to a flop. The flop comes the 9 of clubs, the 8 of hearts, and the 6 of clubs. I lead out for $28, and we get 2 callers. The turn is the 4 of hearts. I now bet for $71 because it is a pretty scary board, and there's 2 flush draws, and both players still call. The river is a 6 of spades. I bet $119. No position folds, and now the cutoff goes all in for $271. I call, and they show pocket jacks, and I win with my boat. Is the old man coffee just sitting there calling down? I guess if something above the jack came, he might have folded, but glad we scooped that hand.
Welcome to Miller Time. I'm Kevin Miller with the Degenerate Gambling Life. Now, this week's episode, I'm going to cover one player at each position that you should be looking to target late in your draft, regardless whether it's a redraft, dynasty, or best ball. At the quarterback position, I think Russell Wilson on the Pittsburgh Steelers, I know that's very weird to say, is a great late round target. He was QB 14 last year on a terrible Broncos offense that was very lackluster. He's got better weapons, and you never know with Arthur Smith what you're going to get, but I think Russell Wilson's going to be a great late value. At running back, I'm looking at the rookie running back, Kamani Vidal on the Los Angeles Chargers. All that stands in front of him in the starting role is Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, who are two of the most injury-riddled running backs of the last 3 years. Harborough drafted him and compared him to Blake Corum at Michigan, so I think Vidal could be a steal for you late in your draft. At wide receiver, I'm looking no further than second-year wide receiver Marvin Mims on the Denver Broncos. Jerry Jeudy got shipped off to Cleveland, and yes, Courtland Sutton is still there and is presumably their number one, and they did draft Troy Franklin, who is college teammates with Bo Nix at Oregon. But I think Marvin Mims is going to progress like receivers normally do in their second and third year and be a great value for you late in your draft. And finally, at tight end, don't sleep on Isaiah Likely. Mark Andrews will be the starter. He's not going to lose his job, but the last couple of years he's missed some time, and every time Likely has filled in for him, he's looked very good. Top 5 tight end good in the league. Look to these guys late in your draft if you wait on the position or if you just need a backup, and you'll thank me later.
Soccer hooligans.
We have another edition of the Added Minutes for you with your boy Jordan Tennis. Think about changing the name of Jordan Soccer. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Just kidding. I don't care what you guys think. I'm sticking with Jordan Tennis. That's my name. That's what I was born with. That's what we're rocking till the death. Anyways, last week was all about the Euros. This week, we do have some Euro action, but we have Copa America kicking off, and this is a special edition of Copa America, as Copa America is a South American soccer tournament. But this year, they have invited the United States, Canada, Mexico, Jamaica, and Panama from CONCACAF into the tournament. So this is a CONCACAF CONMEBOL tournament this year. And man, did we have some action. Argentina started off hot. They won 2-0, and it was kind of expected. They're the reigning, I almost said European champions. They're the reigning Copa America champions. They're the reigning World Cup champions. They're ranked number 1 in the world, so it was expected for them to do good. Elsewhere in the tournament, Mexico played Jamaica, and I was expecting Mexico to dominate this game. Jamaica's without their best player. There's been some grumblings going on within their federation, how they're treating their players. But Jamaica, they played phenomenal. They were taking it to Mexico. Mexico had to scratch and claw their way through this game. Mexico wins 1-0 in that one. USA played Bolivia to open their account in the Copa America this year. They dominated. They were all over Bolivia. Pulisic had an absolute screamer of a goal early. Balogun added one. U.S. wins 2-0 on 20 shots to 6. So they were all over them. This game could have easily been 3-4, 5-0. So USA coming out strong. We'll see how they do. They play Panama next, and then after that they play Uruguay to end it. Uruguay is winning 1-0 right now against Panama. So if that holds, it'll be Uruguay and the United States top of the group. Elsewhere in the Euros, as I said, we had that happen. Poland, they're done. They're gone. Scotland, they ended up losing. They're done. They're gone. The interesting match that we had today was Germany versus Switzerland. Whoever won that game was going to come first in the group, or Germany could tie and come first. Switzerland scored early in the 28th minute. They go up 1-0, and it was looking like Switzerland was going to end up winning the group. Could have been disastrous for Germany. However, Nicholas Füllkrug in extra time in the added minutes ties the game up. Germany ends up taking first in the group, and they will be a number 1 seed going into the knockout stages. We hope you guys enjoyed this edition of the added minutes. We will see you guys next week.
Okay, a little fantasy baseball as we near the halfway point of the season, believe it or not. First up, we have Tobias Myers, Milwaukee Brewers. He's a starting pitcher. He's available in 59% of leagues. He's been player 39 for the last month. He's given you 4 wins, 26 Ks, which is a little below a K per 9, but again, still usable. A 2.12 ERA and a .97 whip. We love those numbers. Next, we have David Hamilton, Boston Red Sox. He gives you that flexibility we enjoy at second base and shortstop. He's available in 31% of leagues, so this is probably last call. For the last month, he's been player 25. He gives you 15 runs, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, and this is his big stat 16 stolen bases, and he has a 301 batting average. Final player is Jock Peterson, Arizona Diamondbacks. He's an outfielder. He's available in 56% of leagues. Now, Jock gets hot and cold, so you need to keep an eye on him. But for the past month, he's been player 107. He's given you 11 runs, 4 home runs. He gives you 18 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, and a 265 average. So these are all definitely players that you can add if you need help at those positions. Okay, thank you so much to everyone that tuned in all the way to the end. We greatly appreciate you. If you haven't yet, please hit that like, take a moment and comment, subscribe, and share if you really feel like it. First, big shout out to everyone that came out Shreveport, came up to us. We had a great time. Jacob and I were doing shots, and with his brother Lucas, we gave away tons of merchandise. We even had people ask for our autographs. So it was a great, great time. Hope to do it again soon in Shreveport. Now, we plan on having a fancy football and poker meetup game in Austin sometime near the end of July. We will come at you with details as soon as we have those kind of ironed out. Also, our website and store is live. Please check it out. If you want some gear, we have hats, hoodies, shirts. Let us know. And as always, have a fantastic week.